Hey everybody, I'm Ryan and you're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and today I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty heart and soul of the BOSS Nextone Artist, which is the 80-watt version of their Nextone amplifier. I already did an unboxing video of this amp and played around with it a little bit. Just gotta say, I kind of feel like unboxing videos are pretty useless, especially for amplifiers. I was running it on settings that did not show off what this amp can do or wants to do at all. I was basing my settings on my experience with the Katana, and I've discovered that this is a much different beast than the Katana. I'll cover that in another video. I'll do a comparison. But anyways, the heart and soul of this amplifier is the gain clipping across the range of the volume knobs, and that's really what I'm going to focus on in this video. I probably said that I was going to do a video that covered every feature of this amp. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to focus on a few things that I think are important about this in the next few videos that I do. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you the clean channel first and what happens as you turn it up. I'm on the 40 watt setting right now. I'll cover the 80 watt setting near the end of this video. All right now I've got the volume right around 30%, and right there you can have plenty of clean headroom. It's going to be nice and sparkly, a little bit of tube compression going on. Tube. I mean, it's a solid state amp, but it's got, I don't know, I didn't build this thing. I don't know how it works, but it does it. Plenty of sparkle there. I'm using this Jennings Navigator. That's a T-style electric guitar. Plenty of twang and spank from this guitar. Right, now I'm going to turn the volume up, and you're going to hear this thing start to get that compression, a little bit of dirt on the edges. Past there, things start getting dirtier and dirtier. Here we are about 2/3 of the way up. You can hear that chimey dirt on the edge of everything and that compression. Got it dimed now. Let's see what it sounds like dimed. It's dirty. This amp gets dirty on its clean channel. 80 watts of solid state. I'm running it on the 40 watt setting now. Plenty loud. On this setting, on the 40 watt setting, this is a giggable amp. On the 80 watt setting, it's definitely a giggable amp. I'm going to say with this amp, because it does get dirty across the volume like that, I would push for the 80 watt. If you're going to use this in a band setting. I famously tell people all the time that the Katana 50 is plenty loud enough for anyone that's going to gig with it, but that amplifier is set up to be a clean machine across the range of the volume knob, and you get a lot of headroom from it. The headroom of this amp starts to disappear into that tube-like compression and clipping. So if you need that extra bit of volume to get over your drummer, I think it's worth getting the 80. I really do. Let's try this maxed out setting here. The volume maxed out for that dirty compression. And we're going to swap out the different power amp select settings here. I've been on the 6V6. And then I'll jump over to the 6L6, the EL84, and the EL34. I'm not going to remember those. I'm really not like a tube aficionado. I know that I like my tube amps, Sometimes I know what tubes are in them, but I'm not someone who's a cork sniffer with that stuff. So this switch here is kind of interesting to me. It's a pretty subtle change from setting to setting. I've messed around with different pieces of equipment in the past that, you know, are modeling different tube sounds, and it's much more of a dramatic jump. This is a subtle kind of different character change, and I think that's part of where this amp lives, is subtle differences in the power and the compression and the clipping and things like that. All right, here is that first 6v6 setting. It sounds great across every setting, but there is this there's this slight character change, and this different way that the gain is handled, and the in-room feel changes a lot. I don't know if that gets picked up by the mic, but it's this in-room feel that changes with that. Like I said, it's a subtle setting, it's a subtle change, but it's the sort of thing that's going to make a big difference in a band mix. All right, let's explore what happens when I hit this volume control with the boost switch and the tone switch, and dial back to about 3/4. And engage the boost. It gives you this, it pushes into a little bit higher gain, gives you this low mid growl. Like I said, this amp kind of lives in subtlety, and that's a big change in tone, but it's also a subtle change. Like, people might not notice you make that change during a set or during a song, but you're going to notice it, and you're going to know that it's making a difference between you sitting below or above the mix. Same thing for the tone switch here. This is basically a bright switch. It gives you extra spank, extra twang. It's a little bit brighter, a little bit chimier. These two switches make a strong case for getting the foot switch for this amp to give you those controls live. Let's turn it all the way up again and see what difference those make. Both on at the same time. Let's start getting into the lead channel now. This channel kind of works the same way that the clean channel does, in that you can get extra gain by turning up the volume. It's just not the gain control. The volume control gives you gain as well. And to show that off, I've got the gain at about 1/3 of the way up here, and the volume right around noon or midnight, depending on when you want to be awake. Kind of a thin, twangy, chimey sound there. I'll start cranking up the volume. 3/4. Plenty of gain on tap there. Really interesting dynamic between the volume control and the gain control. There's a lot to explore with this amp. It's got a really unique, like, personality. This amp has its own personality. It's just not some run-of-the-mill, dry, solid state amp that's got, a tube modeling circuit in it somewhere. Like, this is an amp with character, a dynamic amp where turning different controls affects other sections of the amp and you get different dynamics out of it. It's fun. If you like what you're hearing in this, it's worth checking out. Think about the concept of this amp for a while and think about what it means. Do some soul searching. Sit down and do some meditation on this amp. Anyways, thanks for going on this little journey with me. I'm going to do more videos here in the near future with this amp. I'm going to compare it to the Katana, which I think lends some surprising results. I've already messed around with that on my own time. I'm going to see how it handles pedals. So I'll throw a full pedal board at this amp, see how it handles other overdrives, distortions, fuzzes, modulations, delays, things like that. I'll run stuff in the loop. So expect to see something like that. I'll play out here by turning it on to the 80 watt setting, really blow my ears out, damage my body for your entertainment, and just get nasty with this thing.